missed all the ass kicking that we were doing during the break. Sorry about that. But maybe that was some of the behind the scenes that were not to be seen. I mean, that could be it. All right, stand by, folks. Let's get this party started. That's what they say, like at home. They do. It's a true story. Or should I say story? All right. I don't have an accent.
Not
Are
at
we
all.
starting?
She's just mumbling.
Are you sure? All right, here we go.
You're listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Bravo!
My compliments, little lady.
Commercial!
Break for 30 seconds.
You're now listening to BaaDRadio.
Welcome back as we launch into the second hour of Bad Radio. I'm going to run through all the regular info for those of you who had just joined us. I am Angela Smorito, your host, and we've got our producer, Melissa Fox.
Hi.
Our co-pilot and videographer, Melissa Jacob.
Hello, hello.
And her business is Striking Brand. And you can watch all of previous episodes of Bad Radio on BaaDRadio.com. And you can also see Melissa's work on StrikingBrand.com because she's a videographer and a photographer.
It's a true story.
Mm-hmm. It is a true story. That's one of Melissa's. She likes to say that all the time. It's a true story. And one of the people that you'll see on there, too, is our guest and sponsor. Please welcome attorney Brooke Bolts with Bolts Legal.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad that you're here. This is, like I said, this is kind of like a little reunion show we've got going on now. But this portion of Bad Radio is brought to you by Rachel Roach Realtor, a Caldwell Banker Realtor. With a sea of realtors out there, choose one that thinks of you first and not their commission. 407-252-4566. So, Brooke, I see so much going on social media with Brooke Bolts, or the Bolts name. You got to tell us, what are some of the adventures you guys are going on?
Oh my goodness. I'm just trying to stay busy and
Well, you've got Bolts Legal.
yes,
Okay.
Bolts Legal is really what I have.
Right.
That's the hub.
But my husband has started a company called Bolts Entertainment, and they're working on a video game that will be launched maybe sometime this year. Hopefully
That's so exciting. So what does that mean, a video game? Like, my son's a gamer. Are you talking about like something kids like play online with each other?
Yeah.
I want to
So-
know what it's about.
Well,
You got to wait.
you'll have to wait until it launches. He would kill me if I shared all his secrets right now.
Is he
but-
working with like a team of people?
Yeah, he has an employee who's a coder, and so
Is that what a lot of it is writing code, right?
a lot of it's writing code, but there's a lot of artwork that's involved, and so he's been teaching himself a lot of aspects of it. There's database stuff, there's music, songs that get written for different portions of the
Oh my God,
game.
music
so-
is huge. Aiden played for me some of the sounds for some of the games, and I mean, they're like fully orchestrated. I mean, they sound like full orchestra songs, and they were actually really beautiful.
Yeah, he's got 10 or 11 different songs that are part of the game that he had to have written. So there's a lot more to it than I ever realized.
Oh, definitely. And some of them are so complex, and some of the graphics are insane. Aiden has that headset that it's not an Oculus, but it's one step up from that. And so you put it on, it's a virtual reality thing, and you literally feel like you're like on another planet or in any room. I mean, you can feel like you're in just a white room, and that's it. I think Tom said one time he did one where he was like looking down the side of a building, and I can't handle that. Have you ever put on one of those?
Yeah, we have some of those, the virtual reality headsets, and it's cool. You really feel like you're in that space.
Yeah.
And
Is that
fun.
what is your husband's for the VR, or is it for
No, the game is going to be just for a regular PC computer.
All right. So I've seen some other stuff with like Rachel as well. So what's that all about?
So I have a networking event type thing that I host primarily for medical professionals, but we've opened it up recently to some other types of professionals as well. So Rachel is oh, you know what else? My podcast.
I
would be
know,
what
right?
you're talking about. There's so many things going on that I'm like,
exactly.
what is she leading me towards? It's the
All-
podcast.
Like I said, it's all open. I want to hear all about it.
So yeah, we're launching a podcast that's starting. It's going to launch June 6th, and it is
Exciting.
called Miss Biz, and the focus is to help people accelerate their business through creative marketing, influence, and integrity. So we've been filming and recording those episodes now for a few months. We've got, I think, so far 12 recorded, but so we're just kind of editing them and getting them ready to launch June 6th.
So
that's
is
been
it going to
lot
be
of
a
fun.
video and an audio, or just an audio?
Yeah, it's video as well. We just kind of have a webcam set up
Sure.
on our computer, so nothing like on Melissa's level.
Right. Uh-huh.
Currently, we're the low budget video production right now, but
Hey, you got to start somewhere. And you know what? You can get a pretty decent video from your
Webcam.
phone. Absolutely.
yeah, the I think it looks okay to me, but I have unskilled, untrained eyes. But so that's been a lot of fun, just really exploring and understanding the passion that I have for helping other business owners to grow.
Uh-huh.
In the things that I've learned in building my business, I'm excited to share with others and help them to grow as well.
That's so, like I said, that's like hand in hand with what we're doing here. I mean, this show is about local businesses and business networking. So I meant, like you said, it's like we're like sister shows, I guess you could say. And I
Yeah.
love that.
Mhm.
So do you have guests and everything?
We have not had guests yet, but I think we will. We plan to. We have to kind of figure out how to do that technologically with,
Right.
like setting up another camera, and like that's a little advanced for where we are right
Say
now.
it's a work
but,
in progress.
but
Then.
that is our goal, and our plan is to have other
Mhm.
successful business owners come on
And
and share their
share.
stories. Yeah.
Mhm. I think that's probably one of the best things. There's a gentleman named Alvin that follows. Did you ever see Alvin in Business at a
Yes,
Distance?
yes, yes.
He usually reposts the show,
That's
and
what-
he'll pull snippets from what he what
Mhm.
he learned from the show, and he says, that's what's cool about it, is that we're bringing all of this different expertise to people, and they could take the time to listen to it and learn something from it
Mhm.
each and every time. So I think that's very cool, and it's fun too. So like I said, I know you've already started recording, but it's so much fun, especially like you said, when you get feedback and people are like, "Hey, that was really helpful," or "That's great information." Actually, I got one of those after the show that you did with Jen Andrews. It was somebody that just went on there, and they were like, "This has been like an incredibly informative show," and just that comment alone made me feel really good.
Yeah.
So in regards to your business, like with Bolts Legal, the last time you were in, there was all sorts of crazy shenanigans going on. How things are starting to settle down, though, right?
Well, the laws are official at this
Mhm.
point. I think when I was here last,
When the last time you were in here, they had just announced House Bill 837,
Right.
and everybody was like freaking out.
right.
But what I've come to realize is that the decision was already made.
I believe that as well.
Uh-huh.
So it passed, without any amendments in record time. So we're just kind of dealing with the repercussions of that now. So yeah, I mean, it's affected my business quite a bit.
Has it affected it yet, or do you see it coming?
Right. Like in terms of money in, money out, it's not affected that yet.
Yeah.
It's affected my business though already in the sense of which cases I can take on and, what I can do with those cases and what the profitability of certain cases will be. But so far, most of the cases that I'm working on predate the changes in the law.
Exactly.
So it hasn't affected my actual bottom dollar yet.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely will.
Mm-hmm.
And just as a recap, if anybody didn't see the other show, Brooke Boltz is an attorney and she
Thank you.
specializes in personal injury and
I just
insurance.
assumed everybody knows all of that.
And insurance. I'm just catching you guys up. So that bill that she's talking about affects her ability to.
Yeah, I actually been affected by two, by Senate Bill 2A as well as the House Bill 837. It had so many different names that those are the
Right.
two that I just continue to call that. But you know what? We're going to talk about how Brooke is bouncing back and just staying on top of things. So stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to talk more with Brooke Boltz with Boltz Legal.
That sounds like a good time. It really does. Boltz Legal. Heard your ad a lot, man. Save the lawyers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good stuff. Hey, good stuff on the way, too. This is BaaDRadio. Stand by.
Yeah, I still run your ad.
Do you?
Uh-huh.
Thank you. That's nice. I have people said anything? Did anyone? I think I had one person tell me they heard it on the radio, which was
I got
cool.
some pushback. People saying it's political. I'm like,
That's true.
whatever. I'm like, with the insurance companies are lying to you.com, everybody's like on board, but everybody's scared. They're scared to spend money because they don't know what's going to happen in the long run. That being said, people are working on workarounds on how to when after the claim pay people, and actually I'm going to introduce you because I think you guys might be good referral partners. They found a workaround. And it seems to be legal too. So
It seems to be.
Where they're lending the money in advance. Yeah, I know of a firm who does that. They
out of their own money.
no, they use a hedge fund who loans the money up front, and then the attorney seeks the reimbursement. And it is generally speaking easier to get a reimbursement of something that's already been paid than to get something, because the insurance company doesn't know if they're going to actually use the money to do the work on the house. And so when it's already been done, then that eliminates that question, because it's already
That's interesting.
been done, and it's a determined amount. Whereas when it hasn't been done, you're just looking at estimates. So they
Right.
can argue, oh, that's too high, it's not going to actually cost that much. But if it's already been done for a certain amount, then that kind of takes away those arguments.
That makes sense.
It does. I think that ultimately a lot of businesses are just going to have to work companies like ClaimPay into the cost of doing business. They're going to have to rearrange because they're going to be able to turn more because they're going to have the overhead to be able to buy the supplies to do the things they need to do in order to make things happen. But it is going to cost them. They got to get paid, right?
Right, and they're going to be paying interest on.
I don't know if it works that way either.
They don't charge interest.
I don't think so. Like I said, I think I would like to set you two up.
Yeah, I'd be interested to learn more about that.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
I just kidding. Hold on.
Welcome back to BaaDRadio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
Welcome back, and this portion of BaaDRadio is brought to you by Liberty Property Inspections. Your home is one of your most important investments, so don't trust it to just anyone. LibertyPropertyInspections.net, helping you protect your investment. So we are here with Brooke Boltz with Boltz Legal, but there's also Boltz Entertainment and Boltz Media and Boltz. There's a bunch of Boltz out there. So, but what we were talking about before the break is some of the changes to the law and how people have had to adapt. So let's just recap just quickly. Let's talk about the claims portion. So that would have been Senate Bill 2A, right? And how did that affect you? Let's just do it real quick so people understand what we're talking about.
Sure. So SB2A was aimed at homeowners insurance claims. I represent homeowners who have been underpaid or denied on their homeowners insurance claims. And prior to SB2A, we were entitled to have our attorney's fees paid in addition to the homeowners receiving whatever repair money they were entitled to.
Right. So if I needed a new roof and my insurance company denied me, I hired Boltz Legal. Boltz Legal, helped me get my roof paid for, and then they had their fees, and those were included in the payment from the insurance company. Now, that money has to come out of the homeowner's pocket, correct?
Not necessarily their pocket, but out of the repair money.
Okay.
So it would have been repair money plus attorney's fees in the past, and now it's just repair money.
Okay.
So my attorney's fees have to come from the repair money, which means the homeowner isn't going to get enough
that makes total sense.
to make their
Yeah.
repairs.
Okay, so that's Senate Bill 2A.
Right.
And then the second one after that, because you're also a personal injury attorney.
Yes. So the second one was House Bill 837. That was aimed at auto insurance. So two types of auto insurance that were affected. One is called PIP or no fault, which is what pays your medical bills up to the first 10,000 when you're in a car accident. They eliminated attorney's fees in that arena too, which was one of my prominent departments. And then they also put a number of limitations on personal injury cases as well. Personal injury has never had an entitlement to attorney's fees, at least in the time that I've been practicing. And so there was no change in regard to how attorneys are paid, but there were other limitations put in place that could have a major impact on the amount of settlements that can be accomplished for injured parties.
And I know, I got very, like, Mindful Media Group is the agency I work for. We got really, like, involved with it. And it wasn't just to sell ads or anything like that. It was really because we are Floridians and we are homeowners and we drive cars, and it just felt so wrong on so many different levels. And so you are one of the, Brooke, I can't even tell you how many attorneys I talked to that weren't even willing to say anything at all. That they just were like, I had one attorney say, well, I'm just going to change whatever law, field I practice. And I was really just so I was like, really? I was like,
Yeah.
and you're talking to me about passing you referrals, and you're not even willing to fight for yourself. Why would I think that you're going to fight for somebody else if you're just going to be like, but again,
And you're also thinking of it from like the Floridian standpoint, like the people who are going to be losing stuff.
well, I can tell you right now, and I know you'll agree with me, a lot of homeowners are going to have a very rude awakening come hurricane season.
That's what I was
this
thinking.
year.
Yeah.
The guys last week said that the waters down in the Caribbean are like record high, and so they're predicting a huge storm season again. Have you heard that?
I've not heard that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't surprise me. We've had some rough hurricane seasons in Florida the last several years. So
Yeah. You got to get closer to the mic.
Okay.
There you go. But yeah, so what's going to happen is they're going to think that everything's just hunky dory because that's what it's been in the past. But now, exactly what she said is, their claim's going to get denied because that's what insurance companies do, and then they're not going to be able to. I mean, like I said, it's just that's case scenario. So I think that it's going to be. But do you think that once that happens, we're going to start seeing reform?
I can hope so, but I'm not optimistic. Honestly, I think it will take a long time before we ever see any
Do you think it's political?
It's very political, and also a lot of insurance companies. There's a big what's the word? There's a lot of people concerned about how high their insurance premiums are right now.
Why are they going crazy like that?
Well, the blame is on the attorneys, right? The blame is on the claims, and so that's why they had, I think, so much support, is that these insurance premiums are high. Why? Because we're being sued by attorneys. So there was a lot of support for this type of bill in order to hopefully lower those premiums. So we'll just have to see if that actually pans
Because
out.
all I hear right now is people losing their mind because their premiums are going up
Right.
like 200, 300, 400%.
Right.
And then a lot of places just leaving completely, Florida insurance companies.
So what happens if you just what if I'm just I have a mortgage, so what's the bare minimum? I mean, because the way I feel like right now, and I'll be dead honest, is I feel like if my insurance isn't going to cover anything for me anyway, so, why bother? I mean, I'll pay the bare minimum, and because I'm going to have to pay cash out of pocket anyway. So do you think that's what a lot of people are going to do?
Well, if you have a mortgage, you have to have homeowners insurance. However, some people are in a position where they can't get insurance at all.
So what happens?
Their lender gets what's called lender-placed policy, which means the mortgage company itself becomes the insured and gets the insurance on the home. but it's at the expense of the homeowner. So
Is it cheaper?
no,
Oh,
no, no. It's
okay.
much higher from what I've heard, much higher. So homeowners are generally very unhappy to have a lender place policy because number one, they're not an insured, so they don't have any rights to that policy. And number two, it's usually much more expensive than what they could have gotten as a homeowner.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, what are your thoughts on just going down to the bare bones on coverage? Like getting the least coverage that you can based off of what's legal.
I think that's what most people try to do anyways,
Uh-huh.
honestly, because with the premiums being as high as they are, I think that's their number one request is find me the cheapest policy you can find. So I think they're already trying to get, now there are certain requirements that have to be there by the mortgage.
Mhm.
So they can't go below that. But whatever the least coverage that's
Mhm.
available, I think is what most people are seeking out already.
What do you think about that?
I think that I agree with you that what is the reason for paying a premium for insurance if it's not going to be there to cover you when you need it?
Exactly. They're gonna deny you anyway. So what's the point? They're gonna fight you. You're gonna end up paying to fight them back. So it's like I'm just like,
Throwing away money.
I mean,
essentially.
I'll make my own. You know what I mean? I'll put money aside to cover it and try to work something out that way. To me, it seems a lot better than like the headaches of trying to deal with it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't even know if
I
that's
agree.
that's feasible. I do know people that own their house and don't have homeowners insurance.
Yes. Yeah, I do too. And I don't blame them.
Neither do I, because I heard somebody said that, like you said, it's going up double, triple, quadruple, and so now you're saying that they're blaming the attorneys for that.
Yeah, the attorneys and public adjusters and the claimants themselves have been the scapegoat for all of this, that we have pursued too much money from insurance companies, and so that's why the premiums have gone up.
It's because they deny everything.
I don't know. I heard an attorney say on I think it was a radio show that they're going out of business because they invested in Bitcoin. I don't know if that's true, but some people, I have heard rumors that they've made bad investments and they went downhill and then they lost money and that's why they're in poor financial
Well,
positions.
they're also, I mean, I read an article that it was like State Farm in 2019, their CEO made $18 million and his salary wasn't even $1 million, but he ended up making so much money and bonus type incentives from either like not paying out, or I don't remember what the scenario was, but I mean, that's ridiculous. That's, like you said, that's where our money's going.
Right.
They're fighting us with our own money.
Right.
See, I'm getting all jazzed up about this again. All right. You
Let's
know
go back
what?
to talking about video games.
I didn't know. All right. We're going to go to break. When we get back, we're going to change we're not going to talk about that anymore because it makes me mad. But we're going to talk more with Brick Bolts with Bolts Legal.
Wow, they can hardly stop from giggling. What will they do next? Bad Radio on News Radio WFLA Orlando.
Can I talk now?
Please tuck your head off.
Okay. She always sounds like she's teasing me, doesn't she? You always sound like you're like, what's the right word? Gaslighting me.
I have to say though, of all the people I know, it's nice that you are so passionate about this issue, because most people, if they're not like being directly affected by it the way that I am, or like Richie is, or someone in this field, then they don't really care all that much. Like until it's like, for you, it's not directly affecting you right now, but you have a major passion for it, and that's really rare, and I appreciate that.
Crystal feels the same way. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still going to push insurancecompaniesarelyingtoyou.com. I mean, my long goal is to have like billboards up and down 95, 75, I-10, all the way to Tallahassee. So I'm pretty much not going to stop until that happens. I just got to
Love
like
that.
this. Huh?
I love that.
Yeah, it's just, it's going to take some time and people to invest in it. And, right now everybody's a little nervous because of,
Right.
their money and whatnot, but I'm patient too.
Mm-hmm.
segment 2?
Huh?
Segment
3.
6? Segment 3?
All right. Is this
Segment
the last?
4?
This
It's
is
3. It's 3 of this hour.
Okay, what happened here?
Wait, is it?
Is it?
Melissa.
I'm on. I've got. We're on. I'm on. We're on the last one.
No,
We're
well,
definitely
you're
not
off.
on the last one.
No.
I think we're on 3.
Let me just check 2 first to make sure that I was doing the right
Who
thing.
did I skip then? There's
Because the first time talking to Brooke was about
Rachel wrote.
Okay, all right. So
Yeah,
we are
on
on
the
3,
third.
not 4.
Yay.
Okay.
Oh, that scared me.
It scared me a little because, well, I won't tell you what happened earlier, but it's all fixed now.
Is it?
All right, so we have 2 more. This one and one more, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yes, ma'am. All right. And here we go again.
Welcome back to Bad Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And welcome back. I want to give a huge thank you to our sponsor, Bolts Legal. Fear no storm with boltslegal.com. And we just happen to have Brooke in with us today. So we were talking about a bunch of things, but you know what? I really, like I said, I don't really want to talk about.
Are you going to say the other sponsors?
Huh? That's going to, we have one more segment.
Oh, gosh. Okay. My bad.
That's why I'm like
We're-
confused. I'm like going through here going, did I miss a sponsor somewhere?
Oh, okay. Sorry. My
But I
bad.
don't know if I did or not. Forge, I got them all. So yes, so you get this whole segment belongs to Bolts Legal. How
Awesome.
about that?
Woohoo.
I know. That's what I say. She's like, okay, what's that gonna get me? Oh, so you're also doing. I saw something that your sister-in-law Rachel's doing, right? Is it Bolts Media?
Yes, that's her business, Bolts Media. She does digital marketing.
That's very cool. So I mean, that's just like what all encompasses in that.
She does social media ads and
Mhm.
social media posts for businesses. She does Google ads. She does, I don't even know what else she does.
Is she focusing
everything.
in any particular field, or is it just like legal, or like what she knows a lot about, or
I don't think it's legal based. I wouldn't be a fan of that. She was promoting a bunch of other law firms because she also works with me.
okay, yeah, third, that makes sense.
So, but I know she has some medical providers that are clients of hers, and that's all I really know.
So for Bolts Legal, how important is social media for your business? Is that like your biggest?
It's where I spend the most time. I can say that much. We are always trying to have consistent posts up, trying to have new photos going up, new videos, just trying to do it all.
Do you guys like sit around and brainstorm like ideas for
yeah.
different things? That's gotta be kind of fun.
It's kind of all consuming sometimes. Like wake up in the middle of the night with a new idea of something and I have to write it down and then share the vision with the team. And Melissa does a lot of videos for me. And so she gets late night texts sometimes with,
And
"Can
she's
you do
probably
this
awake,
video?"
like editing Bad Radio.
Oh, always,
videos.
always. I never have to think twice about sending her a late night text. Like she's probably just getting started.
Oh, I don't know.
Late night to me is not late night to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. How late do you stay up?
Oh, do we need to talk about usually like early going to bed is 11 o'clock. That's
Okay.
early.
That's late. I mean, that's about what time I go to bed
No,
all the
she's
time.
more like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Are you?
2 in the morning
But do you sleep in? I mean, are you more?
sometimes,
Oh,
except for BNI mornings.
yeah, right. I know the BNI thing. So, but I understand that because I'm creative too, and lots of times I have these ideas. That I'm mostly in the morning though. That's usually where I come up with like my best ideas for creative. And I could tell me some of your campaigns. I saw the ones where you had the adjuster blindfolded, but
Oh,
it was
yeah.
you, right?
Yeah, that was me. Surprise. Yeah, so we came up with memes. We made calendars of different memes that we sent out to different people at the beginning of the year. We've done a dance video that Melissa made for us. I've done a branding video, which involves tells my story of how I played tackle football growing up, and my
I
daughter.
love that one.
Thank you.
Is that your daughter that's in the video?
Yes,
Oh, very
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, my daughter plays the young version of me.
She looks so much
So-
like you, so it's perfect.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah. So we do just a lot of different videos and then images. I'm always, everything you hear, they talk about you want to come up with shareable content. So, but they never tell you like how to do that or what that is. It's just like this intangible thing you're always trying to figure out, is that shareable content. And probably the most shareable content I've had was that meme you just mentioned, where it's me blindfolded on a ladder and it says hurricane adjuster, no, field adjuster looking for hurricane damage
With a blindfold
with
on.
a blindfold. Yeah, and it's I got the idea from Bird Box, the movie with Sandra Bullock, where
Right.
she's like blindfolded. I think I got like 89 shares on that meme or something like that. It was really probably one of my most shared pieces of content. It's hard to do as a law firm, to come up with content that people really care enough about to share.
Right. Well, I mean, it's almost like you got to try to poke back a little bit, and that's what I love about you, because, like you said, there's so many attorney or firms or that just are too scared, or just not. They're just not going to do anything.
Well, a lot of it has to do with how much it affects you. If you're an employee as opposed to a business owner, you have a little bit of a different mentality, perhaps. When I was an employee, I could always just pivot and do something else for the firm and still make the same salary, and it wouldn't affect me and my bottom dollar so much. When you're a business owner, though, and you rely on that business, and that's what you've known, and that's what all of your staff know, and you have all these
Right.
people that
Are counting on
I'm-
you.
right, like it's a little bit of a different perspective than just, oh, let's just pivot and learn something new, which may be what I end up doing. I may have to learn something new, but it's easier to do as an employee when you have someone there training you and overseeing you and mentoring you, than when you're a business owner and it's just
I'm curious if you've tried Chat GPT for any of your content.
I have been amazed at ChatGPT.
I know, right?
I'm like, why am I sitting here racking my brain so many hours to come up with these creative ideas, and ChatGPT just like comes up with it in a millisecond. Like I typed in a meme one time and it gave me a great one. Like I did not think it could come up with like comedic content.
Oh yeah, it can be. It can though.
And it did. And I'm like, I gotta save this. This is a good one. I mean, it's gonna be a huge time saver. I have not used it to its fullest potential yet, but I've tried it a few times and I'm just astounded by it.
Yes, I've done the same thing, because for me, creating commercial content is something, and it's just like I was amazed of what it came up with. And what I would do is I just hit refresh a few times, and it gave me like 4 different
yes.
versions of it. And then I took bits and pieces to make it fit, because I can write a 30-second commercial for blah, 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 blah. And it will spit it out, and it'll be like, okay, motorcycle sound here, blah, blah, this here. And I'm like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And the quality is like A+ most of the time.
My daughter Anna was doing a 60-second when we visited a different chapter for CBD products, and she wrote one. I mean, it wrote one that was like just really to the T, like very, like I said, non-GMO USA, blah blah blah. And I was like, but you kind of got to add a little something funny to it, a little something. And so she said, write a humorous one, and it did. It wrote one that was funny as hell, and we sat there and laughed, because it was like, this ain't your mother's or your grandma's CBD. It's more like, she said, it was like, unless she was out smoking a joint at at Woodstock or something like that. And she said it at the BNI, and everybody laughed, and I was like, go Anna, good job. But yes, I think that is actually, I mean, good content is key. There's no doubt about it. But I never really thought about what you said until just now, is that nobody tells you, teaches you how to create content. It's just something you kind of have to figure out on your own, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that you can hire content creators, but I have no idea what they cost.
Yeah, neither do I.
and it's always somebody else's opinion.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I mean, one thing you can do is if you find yourself attracted to the same sorts of things, like if you're scrolling through reels or things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and you see a commonality of things that you're attracted to, then see how you can utilize that in your sort of
Mhm.
content.
I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think about too, what would I share?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mhm.
what do I
Right.
share? What do I like? What do I comment on? And I try to think about my own habits to try to figure out, okay, this is what I need to be doing. But it's hard.
Yeah, it is hard because I mean that's how I know we're coming up to a break. But in radio, everything is done based off of demographics and
Mhm.
ratings, and what they do is like they'll get one. I'm a white female. I'm 50 years old. I'd get a pager that I wear around. It's people meter, and whatever I do, they'll multiply that times 50,000 people. Is that true? Not really, but there's no other
Mhm.
way to tell.
Yeah.
All right, so that music means that we're going to break, and when we get back, we're going to talk more with Brooke Bolts with Bolts Legal, so stay tuned for more Bad Radio.
Would you like to network? Go online, BaaDRadio.com.
So, oops, sorry. So this part right here is going to be a little off because like I said, I'm trying to figure out where I missed the sponsor. So when we get back, I'm going to do 33 Candy and Club PA and then
Was it? You did lawn care. Was it Patriot? It was. You did Forge. You did Renee. You did the lawn. Yep, because I said stays together. Yep. Yep. You sure you did property inspection?
Oh, this is what I did. Normally I don't do when I come back. When we come back on the
yeah.
first hour, I did Rachel Road.
Got it. Yep.
Okay, cool. So I didn't miss any. Sorry, I just don't want to miss any of my
Yeah,
sponsors.
yeah,
of course.
Hang on, 1 second. I'm almost ready, Melissa. Ugh. All right, so what do you want to talk about for this last hour or this last
Segment?
segment? Yeah, I mean, what's important to you? What do you got going on? What would make what would make
Be helpful to
be
share.
helpful in Brooke's world?
I don't know. I even though that we've had the changes in personal injury, that's still kind of what my focus is on right now. So, I don't know if there's a personal injury related topic that would be relevant to people.
Do you have any cases that you're trying right now, or anything that is interesting?
I have a lot of cases, but
Can't really talk about them.
Yeah.
I mean, I could talk about them generally, but I don't know that there's anything like
What about
out of the norm.
what about things that people don't know that they can, like okay, for instance, with my roof, if I didn't know you, I would not have even thought to ask you about that. I would have just asked the insurance company, and they would have denied it, and I would have said, "Oh shit, well, I guess we're paying for it." Like, is there anything like property or personal injury wise that maybe people don't know?
Yeah, so actually that brought to mind what I keep hearing is happening is someone's in an accident like yesterday, and today insurance companies calling them and offering them like $2,000, $3,000
Just to kind of get them.
to settle and be done,
I'll be done with it.
and trying to get them to like sign on the dotted line to take this like really low check.
Is that like an ambulance chaser almost?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
At the last minute, I'm going to play a song for last 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
60
yes.
seconds.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is our final segment, so let's rock and roll.
Let's do it.
Welcome back to Bad Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And we are back. I want to give a special thanks to our sponsor, 33 Tanning Spa, with locations in Altamont Springs and Longwood. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm all tan right now. So that's nice
Nice.
spray tan. I know I was going to wear it, but then I got so cold that my skin started to turn purple. So thank you, Melissa Fox, for saving my life.
No problem. I want it back at exactly 5 minutes after the show.
You will. You will. Also wanted to say thank you to Andrews Law PA. She's an auto accident attorney. You can contact her at andrewslawpa.com. And Crazy Muscle Nutrition in Longwood. And I went there yesterday.
Are they open yet?
No.
Okay.
I'm at the Longwood location.
Yeah.
Is still open. So I got some magnesium, and they said that just because I don't know, you were on a show with Zach with Crazy Muscle. He's opening a new location in Castleberry, so he's gonna probably close the one in Longwood and open up the one. But he just said that Castleberry is not moving too fast with all of the permits and all of that
It always happens like that, though.
I know.
You have plans, and then this happens, and that
But it's so
happens.
funny because some people are like, oh, Altamont Springs is the worst. Oh, Castleberry is the worst. Oh, no, you know what I mean? It's like wherever you are, they're the worst.
As far as permitting and stuff
Yeah.
goes? Oh, okay.
I just don't think they're in any hurry. I mean, it's a government agency,
Yeah.
right?
I think it's going to be slow no matter where you
Oh,
are.
that's what meant. I don't know if I told you, Brooke, but I did finally get the SBA loan for our house flooding.
Oh,
It took
good.
me 8 months.
Wow.
8 months. But that's just the way it was.
Mhm.
It was like I submitted it, heard nothing. Submitted it, got a response that is under review. Heard nothing. Submitted it, got a response saying they just got it. You know what I mean? Until finally I submitted it again, and it denied me because it said I didn't submit it in time.
What?
Yes. So I typed out a letter instead of just relying on email. I typed out a letter and proof of all the times that I submitted it, and pictures of the damage from Ian and everything. And that's when something finally happened, is when I used snail mail.
Mm.
Wow.
So, all right. So moving forward, like I said, I understand that Bolts Legal has got so much going on, and I have to commend you on all the activity, all the things that you do to try to keep going forward. And in regards to personal injury, what are some of the things that you're seeing? I mean, that's still a huge part of your business, right?
Yes. Yeah. Personal injury is really going to be my focus moving forward, and has been, especially with the changes in the law that more severely impacted my other two practice areas.
Mm-hmm.
So something that I'm seeing that I think listeners should be aware of, especially if you're in a car accident, is that I'm seeing some insurance companies contact injured parties very shortly after the car accident, within the first day or two, offering them a very low amount of money to sign off on a release and go away, essentially. I was shocked to hear that was happening. In the cases that I've heard of, it was like $2,000 for one. One gentleman and his son were both injured, so they offered them $3,000 to sign off and go away.
Do you know if they did it?
No. Well, so I had one client who received a check and cashed it, not realizing what it was, and we promptly sent it back once he told me about it, and thankfully he hadn't spent the money, so he was able to write a new check and send it back and say we never signed or agreed to this.
So you were able to reverse it. That cashing that check wasn't equivalent to signing an agreement.
He did not sign an agreement in that case, and so we were able to basically send the money back and reverse it. But in other cases, people do sign the agreement, and then it's a battle. You can still try to battle it out, but it's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think people just need to be aware that auto accident injuries don't always manifest themselves fully in the first couple of days. So you may feel in those first few days like, oh, it's not that serious and it's going to get better. But you don't know that for sure. And many times it does not. Many times it lingers and it takes months, and many times it doesn't ever get better.
But you still have the 14 days, is that gone? Like, I remember I always hear in the commercials that you need to go get checked out within 14 days. But is that for PIP? Is that what that was for?
Right.
But is PIP gone now?
No, so PIP still exists, and that's still true that if you get treatment within 14 days, then you'll have $10,000 of PIP benefits available to pay for your medical treatment.
Okay.
What is gone is the ability to have your attorney's fees paid if the insurance company denies or underpays your PIP bills. Now, if you need to hire an attorney to try to collect on your medical bills, that attorney won't be paid for it from the insurance company. So that's what has changed. But the $10,000 of available benefits is still there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still, if you don't get checked out in 14 days, you're going to be limited to $2,500. So if you do get checked out, no, I'm sorry. That's wrong. If you don't get checked out in 14 days, you get nothing.
Oh, wow.
The 2,500 is a different issue, emergency
Okay.
medical condition. So you will not get your PIP benefits if you don't get checked out in the first 14 days. So, so you want to still do that, but that's kind of a different issue. That's your own insurance company pays your PIP benefits.
Right.
The $2,000 offers that I'm talking about are from the at-fault driver. Say an at-fault.
Oh. So no, not your own insurance company then. The insurance company of the person, like I said, who hit you.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So the at-fault insurance company will contact you and say, are you injured? Yes, I am. Okay, here's $2,000. Will you accept it? And some people, because it's quick money and it's now, and
They don't feel anything because, like you said, it manifests. It takes some time.
they may feel something at that point, but they are thinking in their mind, it'll be fine. It's going to go away. So they sign off and accept that very low number only to realize later that it doesn't go away. And 6 months from now, they reach out to a lawyer to say, can you help me? Because I had this accident 6 months ago. I thought it was going to get better and it hasn't. And then we have to say, you signed a settlement agreement for $2,000 and technically that is a binding agreement. So there are sometimes things we can do to try to backtrack that, but we don't, a judge, it'll be up to a judge.
So
whether
that's never
successful.
happened before, as far as you know? That's never been a tactic of the opposing insurance company?
I don't know if it's been a tactic before. I just know that I'm hearing more and more of my clients telling me that they've been called, and offered these very low numbers right away after the accident.
I know that when Anna was in an accident and the Geico tried to contact her, I was like, don't you dare talk to the, don't you do, I don't even know what you're going to say, but don't say anything. Don't even answer the phone.
That's a good thing you knew to tell her that.
Well, I'm scared she's going to say something that's going to end up making it to where we're not, it's not covered.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't even know that.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm scared of insurance companies.
Yeah.
think
There's a lot of sneaky questions they ask you to try to get out of coverage. That's true on all kinds of cases. But just this here's $2,000 to take it and move on is very scary because people don't even know the extent of their injury if they haven't had an X-ray, they haven't had an MRI. They don't know if their treatment if the treatment is going to improve their symptoms or not. So maybe 6 months from now, $2,000 is all their injury is worth, but rarely is that the case. And usually they're offering that money to you early to save themselves having to pay much more down the road.
So your recommendations is accident within 14 days, go to your primary care, go to a chiropractor. Does it matter?
I generally recommend they go to a chiropractor. I don't generally recommend people go to an emergency room unless they are really in a catastrophic condition. Emergency rooms are looking for broken bones and catastrophic injuries. So what happens is they exhaust a huge portion of your $10,000.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then you don't have that available money to go see other types of doctors.
All right. Well, I mean, we could probably talk for another 2 hours, but we're out of time. So, Brooke, give everybody your contact information.
I'm Brooke Boltz at Boltz Legal. BoltzLegal.com is my website, and all my contact information is there.
Okay, that was quick, to the point.
Yeah.
Melissa?
And my website's strikingbrand.com, and you can email me at melissa@strikingbrand.com.
And I am Angela, and you can reach me at angela@BaaDRadio.com. And don't forget to go to BaaDRadio.com to check out previous episodes. So thanks for listening, and have a fantastic week.
Well, if you enjoyed the show today, come back next Sunday at 11 o'clock. Believe it or not, we'll be there. It's a true story. That's for you, Melissa.
I love it. True story.
Yeah, true stories are awesome. And we're out of here. Take care.
Yay.
Bringing it back.
Thank you.
Recall and guess. I like that. That's cute.
Very nice. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for...
Absolutely. So we'll get you on the schedule for the next time that you have the full hour I never whatever happened to that chiropractor, the one with the drive or the mobile place. I reached out to him a couple times.
I've seen the van actually one time.
Did you know that like he does all of like the predators and all those guys for free? Trade, yeah. True.